Hello, everyone. As you guys may be aware, I've been following this ESG movement very closely. Um, this is one of the example in series of those um, regulations and measures taken by our crazy government. By the way, I'm proponent of organic growth. And it's only if things are organic, they are sustainable. If if things are actually pushed by government through regulations, or they are happening because of availability of cheap money, as is the case these days, then they will not be sustainable in long run. They will lead to failure. They will lead to a lot of losses, and any money actually invested in such activities will actually end up getting lost or wasted. Um, so this is in this article, basically government is trying to push for electrical vehicles at United States Postal Service, so replacing all the gas-based vehicles to electrical vehicles. Um, we this thing we have to keep in mind is sustainable if infrastructure is in place. That's going to cost money and time because you need to build it. Um, if the electrical vehicles that are produced are reliable enough, that means they are going to last long enough. Take gas vehicles for example. I am aware of people who have their personal vehicles going on for 20, 25, 30 years, which means the vehicles themselves are reliable. And third, the maintenance on those vehicles is not expensive either. So yes, things always break down, and if they do break down, then the cost of maintaining them, replacing the parts, whatever is broken, is not very expensive. Either if you do it by yourself, or you actually use somebody to do that, like a mechanic. um, are those criteria going to be fulfilled going forward with this electrical vehicle paradigm? That's a big question mark, and that remains to be seen. um, are these vehicles going to be reliable? If they are reliable, are they going to be easy and cheap to maintain? Let's take an example. If electrical vehicle, the major the power comes from the battery, or battery bank. If for some reason battery is faulty, does that mean that you have to replace those faulty cells, or does that mean you have to replace the whole battery? That may be the big factor in whether that car can be need to be replaced completely, or it can be fixed and reused. If that battery costs, let's say, 50% of the total cost of the car, and it has to be completely replaced every time there is a fault, well, that means it's not easy to maintain. It's very expensive to maintain. Actually, I shouldn't say easy. It's very expensive to maintain. Then the question will come: how often such circumstance happen? If the battery has to be replaced once in 20, 30 years, maybe it's possible, it's sustainable. But if it has to be replaced every 5 years, and it costs 50 to 60% of the total cost of the car, then it may absolutely not be sustainable. So those are the things that will actually help with the long-term viability of this whole paradigm. Um, at this point, there are a lot of question marks, and there are not enough answers. It's government is just hell bent on replacing anything that somehow vaguely touches fossil fuels with electrical something something. Just to show that we are not causing greenhouse effect, or we are not increasing greenhouse gases. We are going towards more sustainable uh, options, without realizing that building a car, while at the end you may not be putting gas or petrol or diesel to run it, but that's just the end part of it. Before that, you have to build that whole car. You have to mine the lithium for the battery, you have to get the steel or the plastic to build the chassis of the car. All that requires fossil fuels to mine the ore, to convert that ore into metal, to smelt it, to convert it into sheets or plates, then building the chassis, you know uh, joining different components through soldering or welding or whatever. All that requires fossil fuels, and we need to be aware of, mindful of that if let's say car has to be replaced every 10 years, um, while during those 10 years you were running it using possibly you know uh, uh, a solar powered charger, so it was a renewable source, and you weren't emitting gases. But if it has to be replaced every 10 years, just the sheer amount of fossil fuel to replace that whole car, is that equivalent of the total greenhouse gases emitted by a gas vehicle over 30 years, that last 30 years? Maybe they are equivalent. In that case, then this is again just a sham. Then it's not sustainable, and it's not viable. um, so those are the things that we have to be aware of, and I think we are just blindly, because of mandates, going into this direction. We should do some cost benefit, and some analysis around that, and more I see this, more I feel this will really be falling flat, and ultimately there will be an egg on the face of these so-called leaders. This is so in the article, this they are basically mandating you know 3.4 billion dollar purchase of electrical vehicles for USPS, and they all the vehicles have to be replaced by 2028. Yeah. Anyway, those were my thoughts. I will put the link in the description down below. Please share, comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.